there is an extremely deep crisis. And this deep crisis is affecting the rest of the world. And it is in this context that we have to work out how do we achieve development and go ahead. For instance, it is now accepted that neoliberal policies which were generated through the Washington Consensus has been one of the root causes of the present crisis. We know that 97% of the capital that was being globally utilized, passing from country to country, that 97% was speculative capital, looking after rapid profits through share and property transactions. And it is that system which was encouraged through the policies that were carried out in our country after 1977 with the open economy, through the pressures exerted by the World Bank and the IMF, though those policies seem to have been changed recently. And those very policies have led to deep crises in countries of the third world as well. And the very proponents of those policies have now said that they have to rethink and to work out fresh policies. We know that the food crisis which has affected the world is the capitalist, profit-motivated crisis. About half the land in the United States is kept fallow, not cultivated. And the farmers are paid money for that, so that the amount of food reaching the world market will be kept down in order that prices are kept up. While there are billions starving, they go and invest in the Amazon, grow the maize and other things there, destroying the forests. And we have here the phenomenon of the climate crisis, where due to atmospheric pollution, there is global warming and all the consequences. Even our country is in danger. Maldives may be submerged in the course of this century. And the countries that cause that pollution are not taking responsibility. We know that 24% of this greenhouse effect, global warming, arises from the United States. But they have not yet signed the Kyoto Protocol. I don't know whether they will have anything concrete coming out of the Copenhagen meeting. So it is in this context that the world is threatened. The oil crisis, all these are adding on. And we have to find a way out. And this is the challenge that lies before us. I think that the type of development we may be able to follow, one of the possibilities is what is called the developmental state model, which Professor W.D. Lakshman here has been advancing as being suitable for Sri Lanka. I tend to agree with it, because countries like South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, even Malaysia have been able to have government control, market-driven economic progress, where identified thrust areas, making use of the waves of technology that periodically sweep the world, they have been able to advance. For instance, Korea came up on the microelectronics, ICT, and advanced materials technologies. The scientists there were given all the support by the government, and the industries were protected and allowed to develop. In fact, they followed the example of Japan, which had done the same thing earlier. And that is why in 1960s, the per capita GDP of South Korea was $84, while Sri Lanka was $320. Last year, we have gone up in the last 4 years from 1016 to double that. Sorry, from 1062 to almost double that. $2,016 last year. But South Korea has gone up to nearly $30,000. It has transformed itself from a poor country into a rich country. So we need to work out similar models for our own development. And on that basis, in a more rational way, with active state intervention, where governments which will act in the interest of the people, in the interest of the country, which will ensure that poverty and hunger elimination are given priority. Our unemployment level went down to 5.4% last year. This year it has gone up a little with the economic crisis to about 6.2%. But we are well below that of the United States, of Europe. So we can move in the right direction to achieve the development that we finally, in my view, we do not need a capitalist class with control of capital for economic development. If we have good management, if we have good controllers of funds, if we have a society which is not deeply divided, but a society in which we work harmoniously, where decision making includes those who work in the shop floor, then we can get maximum cooperation, and the outcomes can be divided fairly throughout the workplace and throughout society, and that those funds can be used to advance society in a planned manner in the best interest of society. I am an unrepentant socialist, and I shall remain so to the end of my days, because I feel that if we want genuine development, as your Chancellor described, in the pattern of Buddhism, that can only be done when greed and profit as the motive for running society is removed, and we have a genuine, cooperative, socialist society in which everyone has equal rights and equal privileges and enjoys the full benefits of the development that occurs. And I hope that someday, maybe long after we are gone, that will be achieved. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to invite Professor Jayewardenepura, PhD, Dean of the Faculty of Cultural Studies, to propose vote of thanks, officially marking the end of the ceremony.
Chancellor of the University of Jayewardenepura, Venerable Professor Venerable Dr. Chief Guest, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Professor Jayewardenepura, Secretary to the Minister of Higher Education, Vice Chancellor Dr. Jayewardenepura, Deans of all the faculties, all my colleagues of the university, and all the members of the non-academic staff, and dear students, and ladies and gentlemen. At the end of this inauguration ceremony, now it is my duty as well as my pleasure to propose the vote of thanks. I would like to express my gratitude to the Venerable Professor the Chancellor of our University, the Chief Guest, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Professor Jayewardenepura, the Secretary to the Higher Education Ministry, Mrs. Smiley Pires, all the distinguished invitees for making this inaugural ceremony more prestigious. Thank you, Venerable Sirs. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining with us and sharing our happiness in this valuable event. Also, I would like to express my gratitude and sincere thanks to all the resource persons and to the contributors of the poster session. Particularly, I wish to thank the resource persons who came to Sri Lanka from other countries to contribute to our conference. Thank you all of you. I greatly appreciate your humbleness for accepting our invitation and also to your valuable contributions and your effort and interest which make this event a real fruitful one. This 50th anniversary academic conference was a dream of our university at the time, and it is a great pleasure to the Faculty of Graduate Studies to bring that dream to a reality. It was a challenge faced by a group of dedicated academics who closely worked together. We formed the 50th anniversary conference committee to work on this event. Even with all the other commitments, our Vice Chancellor chaired this committee, encouraging us and giving us the fullest support and cooperation throughout. Thank you, sir, for your contribution and for the strong support extended to us. I would also like to thank our former Vice Chancellor, Professor Jayewardenepura and Professor Jayewardenepura for initiating the idea of the conference and for joining with us in organizing this event throughout the entire organizing process. Thank you, sirs, for your cooperation and valuable support extended to us. Now I wish to thank all my colleagues who worked very closely with me throughout the entire organizing process. As a team, we collectively tried our best to make this event a memorable occasion. I wish to thank Professor Sunetra Veerappan, Professor Shriyani Ekanayaka, Professor Hemanti Ranasinghe, Dr. Malmini Ranasinghe, Dr. P.T. Nimal, Dr. Samanyapa, Dr. U.G. Chandrika, Dr. M.M. Padmalal, Mrs. Ilanti Bandara, Dr. Kamal Ranatunga, Dr. Kamini Bandasuriya, Dr. C. Devaki, Dr. W.A.N.Y. Silva, Mr. Pratap Karatantri, and Mr. Nisar Giri. Thank you, dear colleagues. Thank you for your all hard work. Without your strong support and hard work, this event would not have become a reality today. Also, I wish to express my gratitude to the 4 deans of the faculties, Professor P. Athukorana, Professor Ajit Abesekara, Professor Sampath Amaratunga, and Professor Jayewardenepura. In spite of your faculty activities, you helped us by coordinating academics in your faculties to contribute to the symposium in the poster session and also encouraging them to participate in the conference. Also, you gave the fullest support by accommodating the requests made by our committee time to time for the conference activities. Thank you so much for extending your strong support and cooperation which helped us a lot in organizing this great event. Special word of thanks goes to the Deputy Registrar, Senior Assistant Bursar, and all the office staff of the Faculty of Graduate Studies who provided their strong support and cooperation to achieve all my targets towards the conference. Thank you all of you for your strong cooperation, commitment and support throughout this work. At last but not least, I would like to thank all of you, venerable sirs, ladies and gentlemen, for accepting our invitation and in spite of your numerous commitments, being with us in this occasion today. Your presence is very valuable to us and it is a great source of encouragement to us. Thank you, venerable sirs, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much to all of you.
Thank you, madam. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to sing the university anthem.
On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to invite you for refreshments served outside. Tea is being served in 2 rooms. Invitees of the right of the aisle, please proceed to room 1, and the invitees of the left of the aisle, please proceed to room 2. And now please stand to the ceremonial procession to exit. There is an announcement for those who didn't collect the conference gate. The organizing committee requests you to collect the conference kit after the ceremony, and your presence is expected at the team seminar which will commence after tea. Thank you.
Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahat, those type of things. Some people think it's hard to lay people. But Buddha's teaching, including Four Noble Truths, we can apply secular life as well as spiritual life. One of our Chandima and as well as our some of his scholars, teacher, Nilian Smart, came to UCLA over 20 years ago. He gave a talk, Science and Buddhism. He says, every other religion is going to fail with the science, but Buddhism faces very well, because the reason is Buddhism expresses two things. One is conventional truth and other one is ultimate truth. You know, Nagarjuna, well-known scholar, says, Ve Satya Paramasutya Buddhanam Dharma Deshana Lok Samati Satyancha Satyancha Paramarthatan Vivahara Manasutya Paramartho Nadeshite Paramartha Managamya Nirvana Nadigamyati. There are two types of truths in the world. One is conventional truth, other one is ultimate truth. Buddha never taught pursue that taught conventional truth. Without conventional truth, Buddha never taught ultimate truth. Without ultimate truth, never attained the Nibbana. Similarly, I wrote one of book is called Saffron Days Indian Way. In one of chapters, I explained to one of young ladies in America how can apply Four Noble Truths secular life. What is the first one? Dukkha. She came to me for counseling. What was the suffering was? She was a student, one of universities at Northwestern University at that time. She got a hard time from her professor, because professors are sometimes not so kind, because she late all the time to classes. Then, as a result, she got bad kind of a mark. Then she had an idea to go to a medical field, but now no more. She doesn't get a good. She didn't get a good grade, so therefore she get in trouble. She came to me for counseling. I says, look, why you are suffering? Because you do not get proper marks. What is the cause? Cause is you never come on time to the class. If you think I can earn this scholarship if I do very well, I can go to the medical college if I do very well, then you will be able to do very well. Think of the good things. Then how it can be applied, like a Eight Noble Path, right understanding, right thought, and so forth. Similarly, Eight Noble Path, again, Four Noble Truth, those are we can apply our daily life also. Problem is here, there's a kind of humorous stories. I love to share humorous stories. The Sakka, the god of the heaven, one day sent a letter to our temple high priest, saying, very well, sir, if you like, I can send 10 of them to heaven. Then Lokuhamra was so excited and called upon the devotees and asked anyone interested in going to heaven, please raise their hand. No one. Finally, Lokuhamra told Jane, Nona, very wonderful, very faithful lady, you come every day to temple, bring food to the monks, therefore we are suggesting your name. No, Venerable Sir, my daughter's wedding is going to be next month, therefore I can't. Then finally, the deputy high priest in the temple, so smart, very clever, he was suggested, Venerable Sir, what about you? High priest, we selecting your name. No. I have to do Kodhihamduro's Pasampada, higher ordination thing within 3 months, plus the temple, our wall is not completed, those I haven't do. Then this young man told, no, Venerable Sir, I can do all of things, why don't you go to heaven? Say, no, why? Manusyu, Keep and Yanni, Heaven, Nolan, Nirvani. It's a kind of a humorous story, but we have to think for that. Why? We are all the time postponing because we think the spiritual path is very difficult thing. However, Buddha taught many suttas, many places, including one place the Buddha knew that it would not easy for someone to teach detachment from the world while within it. However, he emphasized to these followers that first 3 stages awakening were fully assembled to the still all lay people, Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami. Yet Arhat is not easy for these people. See, even the Buddhist, life of Buddha, look at the many our devotees. Visakha, when she got the first stage, Sotapanna, when she was a 7 years old young lady, she had a good time, she was a dancer, she was a very, had 20 children and enjoyed family life very well, yet she was a Sotapanna. Many other people, when you go to this canon, you can find out those type of many people were at that time Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat, so forth. The Buddha again wants Mahanama Sakya, I believe very well Amrita's brother, consulted with him and told him, you could have attainment arhatship like the other bhikkhus. It is mentioned in the Anguttara Nikaya. Also, many other suttas explain many things as well. Belangila Nayakahamra explained to us with Vyagapaita Sutta many things here, like Uttana Sampada, Arak Sampada, Samayita, Kalyan Vitata, so forth. He explained very well, therefore I do not want to go those things to touch. But I like to share some of them, American, our people, how they are benefited Buddhism. Because our professor talked about the meditation. You know, American people meditate not to attain to the nirvana. There are 3 things they are meditate. Number 1 is stress management. So, Professor Kanaratna, you might have a lot of stress because the university vice chancellor is not easy, especially in Sri Lanka, plus Jayewardenepura. There are stress management. It is very important thing, stress management, meditation. Second thing is they meditate to organize their life. Properly organize their life. Finally, they meditate to overcome chronic illnesses such as high blood pressure, You know, one famous doctor, Ian Gowler from Australian doctor, he had a bone cancer. 3 doctors told him he would going to die within 6 months. He didn't have any choice. What he was told that if he practiced meditation, he may overcome. He practiced meditation while he takes the medicine. After 6 months later, he went to doctors, nothing happened, he's perfectly alright. Then he wrote 2 books. One is You Can Conquer Cancer. Other book he wrote Peace in Mind. In those books he expressed very well how can scientifically overcome stress and kind of way anxiety through meditation. Again, in America, it is very practical thing. Lakers in Los Angeles, we are very proud to say I'm from Los Angeles, and our number 1 game is like here you guys have a what is called cricket. We have a basketball. In basketball, all the time, America in Los Angeles Lakers get a number 1. Before, Chicago Bulls got a number 1. Why? Chicago Bulls coach was Phil Jackson. He is a Buddhist. After he meditating, he teach his other colleagues, other players to at least 10 minutes must practice breathing meditation. After that he started playing. As a result, all the time, he got the number 1. Even now in Los Angeles Lakers number 1 because thanks to Phil Jackson, who is a good Buddhist practitioner. Again, Carl Lewis, 4-time winner in Olympic runner. He wrote in his life history. He said he was born very poor family in Chicago, African American family. Then no one took care of him. He got so much angry with himself when running here and there. Finally, he met the Sri Lankan gentleman Anand, and he taught him how to breathe, how to walk, and like that meditation techniques. As a result, he got also his name also Siddhartha. And as a result, he won 4 times Olympic. That is the way in American people apply for their life meditation. Now I move other things. Again, of course, all of you know in our Buddhism is explained very well. Chanda, Virya, Chitta, Vimarsana. We call it Rittipada, successful life. How to be successful life? Chanda means have to have an inspiration and wish whatever you do, have to be happy mind to do that. When you ask the professor, if you teach us very happy, you are happy, your students are happy. Really have to have a right effort, energy, willpower, wish power to do that. Then Chanda, Virya, Chitta, some of the scholars explain Chitta like a chitra, maybe like a pictures, imagination. However, Chitta means concentration. Chanda, Chitta, Virya, Vimarsana means investigation. When we do those things, we are very successful. By the way, there is a movie called The Secret. Content physician got together to make this movie. That movie based on these 4 factors. Again, the Buddha explained to us very well many suttas, many different ways, like the Siddhartha Sutta that Velanam explained to us. In Sutta Nipata has a lot of suttas explain how to overcome kind of anger. Again, many other suttas explain how to live conflict, because we have a different problem within the society, with students and teachers, with monks and lay people and so forth. Buddha explained very well many suttas, especially Majjhima Nikaya. Buddha taught us one of sutta is Aranavibanga Sutta, how to overcome our difficulties, why people get trouble each other. Explained very well that sutta. Then again, many other suttas to explain. I do not have much time to explain. One of very interesting sutta called Satipatthana Samyutta Express Sirivardhana to Household Venerable Ananda, saying, this is the way Venerable Ananda says, one of the examples of the type of instruction are in Satipatthana Samyutta. The household Sirivardhana was fatally ill, and Venerable Ananda was there to help him. Sirivardhana is instructed to turn thus: I will develop contemplating the body in the body. Ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having remote countenance and displeasure in regard to the world. See, most of the time we think Satipatthana only Sangha members. That is not true. Satipatthana Sutta explained different time for different people. Don't think in America I have been 35 years, you think I maybe watch a lot of movies. Believe me, I maybe watch these 35 years, maybe only 10 movies, not more than that. Even my favorite one is called Beautiful Mind. This Beautiful Mind, why it is favorite? Dr. John Nash, a well-known mathematician, economist. He was a Harvard University professor. He suffered a lot of pain and trouble because illness. He has a kind of called paranoia, what we call schizophrenia weakness. Therefore, he was really, due to many type of way got treatment, he could not overcome. Then finally, but it is not mentioned in this movie, I happen to know through one of my early university professors, he somehow contacted one of university Buddhist professor, and he learned Majjhima Nikaya very well. Among them, his favorite two suttas. What was the two suttas? Veda Sutta, and other one was the Vitakka Santana Sutta. In the Vitakka Santana Sutta, express 5 kind of things to us if we have any difficult time in our life. For example, if I am a gambler, how I overcome gambling. If I am a smoker, how I overcome smoking. If I am a womanizer, how to overcome a womanizing problem. Those are the any place you can apply this Vitakka Santana Sutta, these 5 categories. Among the third one, he really was admired, and the movie expressed very well about that. One should ignore the unwanted thoughts by not paying attention to it. He could overcome his schizophrenia, means very, very difficult, horrible, bad sickness. Very hard to, because every time the paranoia, oh, this person tried to kill me, this person tried to kill me, like that paranoia states. But he could overcome that following this one. One should ignore the unwanted thoughts by not paying attention to it. He follows very well, therefore he could come to a very good way. By the way, again, this was a Nobel Prize winner. He got Nobel Prize winner even for mathematician, he got Nobel Prize winner for economics. What was his theory? Buddhist theory. What's the Buddhist theory? Not alone himself had to have those days, in Europe as well as America, everybody told that first me, others are their own care. But his economic theory, what he tried to explain to the world, not only you, while I am doing something, same time I have to help the society. That is exactly our Buddha, many places, even Majjhima Nikaya, Ambalatika Rahulvada Sutta, again, many other suttas express same way he explained that economic system. No one did not research his economics research papers. I hope someone go and find out his research papers and find out how can be applied to Buddhist way of life. There again, nowadays in America, at least once a week, some kind of Buddhist books come all the time. Many topics. Buddhism and psychology, Buddhism and way of life, Buddhist meditation, transformation of consciousness, Satipatthana Sutta, and again science, many books. They are really making a lot of books these days. Especially, I don't know, Professor, maybe our good friend Dr. Nalin Silla, what he thinks, even our Sri Lankan people think Jews are horrible, bad people. Believe me, in America we have 6 million Jewish, among 3 million are Buddhists. Other 3, this is not my thing, it is American CIA found out, record and published in many places, in Los Angeles Times published, did a many research about that. Most of Jews are in Americans are Buddhists. They are the people writing books. Other group, even the synagogue rabbis are teaching their synagogue Buddhism. They are saying, I'm a rabbi, but I'm teaching Buddha's teaching. If you go to the internet, find out Buddha. They are Buddhism and Judaism combined together, Buddhism. Therefore, in America they are trying to get our Buddhist doctrine to practice their secular life. In the one book is called The Mind and the Brain. Again, the UCLA one famous professor, Jewish professor, Jerry Sosu wrote this book. In this book also, explains, by the way, he's a Buddhist. He tried to explain in his book suffering from obsessive compulsive disorder as described in this book. To overcome that, have to follow meditation, have to follow Buddhist path. So my paper, I didn't follow, even though I wrote because I have a very limited time. I hand over to thank you again, inviting me, especially our Vice Chancellor called me early morning, 3 a.m. I got up. Usually someone calls that time, I'm not happy, but Vice Chancellor's nice, kind words, I even never say, here time is 3 a.m. I didn't tell him. I kindly accepted the invitation. I'm so grateful you to think of me because I love this institute, I love this place, I love here this university. This time again, open thanks for all of you to organize this thing. I hand over my paper to one of your organizers, then you can benefit later. Thank you again.
For having shown us clearly the link between secular and spiritual path with such graphic and illustrations. Thank you. Now I call upon the next speaker, who is our very own Professor Jayewardenepura. He is a senior professor of physics in our university and a former dean of the Faculty of Graduate Studies. And I must say that he was one of the people who right from the outset planned this whole day and this theme setting.
Available, welcome to
By not mentioning the topic that is going to talk to us about modern developments in science and their philosophical
Dr. Vice Chancellor of the University of Jayewardenepura, members of the academic and non-academic communities of the university, dear students and ladies and gentlemen. Let me at the very outset thank the organizers of this symposium for the kind enough to invite me to make a presentation at this very important occasion. It's an honor, privilege, and a pleasure to have an opportunity of making a presentation at a symposium which is being convened to mark the 50th anniversary of the University of Jayewardenepura, an institution that I have been associated with for the past 35 years. I have been requested by the organizers to discuss the philosophical aspects of science in relation to the main theme of the seminar, which is Buddhism, science and development. And I decided to speak on the topic modern development in science and the philosophical implications, as many parallels would be drawn between philosophical implications of modern development in science and Buddhist philosophy. However, in preamble, I would like to very briefly discuss some early developments in science as a backdrop for a better understanding of modern developments in science and their philosophical implications. The body of knowledge that is presently called modern science, presently designated as modern science, does not have a long history as compared to other human endeavors such as art, drama, literature, or music. The origins can be traced back from the latter part of the 16th century, to the introduction of an empirical methodology called scientific methodology by philosophers scientists such as Galileo Galilei and Samuel Bacon. As you know, Galileo is generally considered as the father of science, father of modern science, as he was the person who fused together, combined together philosophy and empirical knowledge. Experimentation, careful and systematic observation of experimental results, and formulating hypotheses, laws and theoretical models are the most vital components of scientific methodology. The great power of this methodology comes from its rigorous as well as creative application. As a famous biologist and philosopher, Thomas Huxley once stated, scientific methodology is nothing but trained and organized common sense. It is common sense but trained and organized. Laws of science are concise and economic expressions of our limited experience in relation to particular phenomena, and theories and models are our own mental constructs to explain it. This means that no scientific theory or model is sacred. They are wide open to criticism and even to falsification. According to the great contemporary German philosopher Karl Popper, the theory is not considered scientific unless there is proof within the theory to falsify it. Actually, this is the reason as to why science was progressing so rapidly, so steadily from its very inception. One discipline that was subject to rapid development during the first 3 centuries of development of modern development of science was natural philosophy, or in present day language, physics. Physics of the pre-20th century is generally referred to as classical physics. And the conceptual framework of classical physics was dominated by its mechanistic and materialistic character. This conceptual framework invaded the other scientific disciplines such as chemistry, biology, geology, and other branches of human knowledge, including technology, engineering, and even medicine. Even the Industrial Revolution can be described as an indirect consequence of thinking that was based on this conceptual framework. So this materialistic paradigm and its associated metaphysics gained dominance over Western thinking, Western philosophy in a very big way. Until the dawn of the 20th century, the edifice of modern science was built on several philosophical foundations. The first and foremost was the view that there is an objective world outside that can be observed, examined, understood, and even exploited. The second view was that every process in the world takes place in an orderly manner, so that causality is not violated. Everything is happening as a result of a cause. This means that every effect in the world is a result of the cause, and nothing can happen without a cause. The third was the view that it is possible to isolate any part of the world and study it as a discrete entity. That means that we go to the field and we take a sample from there and we take it to the lab and study it. So we take it from outside and we study it as separate entity later. When we carefully examine these views, we see that they emanate from a more fundamental view, that is that nature or the world that we live in is completely deterministic. The famous French physicist and mathematician Laplace in early 19th century declared that if he were given the speed and positions of all the particles in the world at a given particular instance and a given calculator, then he could determine all what happened in the past and all that could happen in the future. Undoubtedly, finding a divine calculator that can perform almost infinite number of calculations is a sure impossibility. Nevertheless, this statement is a clear illustration or clear indication of the dominating position held by the deterministic worldview during the classical period of science. Science of the classical era has many success stories. Number is far too many to enumerate here. In Inspired by these stories, Lord Kelvin, one of the leading physicists, were brave enough to state in the latter part of the 19th century that the universe has been fathomed in its entirety. Everything in the universe has been understood. And only the unknown question details remain for further investigation, things that are not challenging, things that are boring, are left. Very soon it became obvious that Lord Kelvin was wrong. When scientists try to use classical theories to understand nature of light and atomic phenomena, inadequacy of classical physics became glaringly apparent. Classical physics could fail in explaining the nature of light. It also failed in producing a model for the structure of the hydrogen atom. These are just two examples to show the failure of classical physics. There are many more examples one can cite. Soon it became apparent that classical physics was good enough only to explain phenomena relating to large objects, which we call macro objects. Failure of classical physics to explain nature of light and behavior of micromatter such as atoms, molecules, almost demolished this very foundation. In early part of the 20th century, the necessity of having a new theory became more and more apparent. A complete new theory known as quantum mechanics was born to fulfill this requirement. Intellectual giants who initially contributed towards the development of this new theory were Max Planck, Niels Bohr, De Broglie, Werner Heisenberg, and Erwin Schrödinger, and the inspired research how the nature of Earth contributed immensely to enrich this theory. With this introductory remarks, I would now like to draw your attention to some important discoveries of 20th century physics. Earlier I have been talking about 20th century physics. 20th century physics, the interpretation of which led to profound philosophical outcomes, profound philosophical implications. These discoveries are wave particle duality, objective randomness, and non-locality or entanglement. First, I would like to describe the wave particle dualism in relation to light, as light plays an important role in understanding the physical world around us. It has been common knowledge for centuries that light behaves as light displays wave properties. That is something we have been knowing for centuries. This was experimentally established by Thomas Young about 200 years ago. Einstein, about 100 years ago, 1905, in his Nobel Prize-winning discovery, revealed that light also possesses particle characters. This means that on certain occasions light behaves as waves, on certain other occasions it behaves as particles. In scientific literature, this abnormality is known as wave-particle duality. The wave-particle duality is not confined only to light. It can be seen in all types of matter, all types of radiation, which means it can be seen in everything. Renowned Danish physicist Niels Bohr introduced the principle of complementarity to describe this apparently schizophrenic behavior in nature.